YouTube is going through a bit of a moment at the moment. Between a rollout of new unwanted AI features and some sneaky changes to the algorithm, you've probably missed videos from your favorite creators, including me, without even realizing it. And while that is something that affects the entire platform, it has some concerning comorbidities with AI-related issues we anime creators have been dealing with for a while now. Problems I worry are portents of things to come for the entire platform. So I think you need to know what's been going on. Long story short, over the last month, big and small YouTubers alike across a wide variety of content niches have all reported a noticeable dip in their viewership. I'm no exception. My new summer hottest trash is about 100,000 views short of where it ought to be based on the performance of every other video in that series that wasn't demonetized, and even some of the ones that were demonetized. My other recent videos have also fallen short of expectations, though it's harder to estimate when they're not part of a big series, and I'm pretty sure that some of you don't even know I put out a roast of the Shiunji family children or a new essay on isekai. But the really crazy part of the situation, the thing that's got every YouTuber basically panicking, is that even if you go to my channel to find those videos right now, you might not see them. For many years, YouTube's had a feature called restricted mode that prevents potentially mature videos from showing up on your page at all. And this is based on different standards for monetization, so even if a video complies with all of YouTube's rules, it can still be affected. For many years, this has been an opt-in feature used mainly by parents, schools, and workplaces to limit what's watched on their Wi-Fi, which is reasonable. But YouTube's new age verification AI seems to be turning it on randomly for some people, or maybe it's making it select things to be restricted more aggressively. We don't actually know. A lot of YouTubers are kind of just spitballing about what might be going on as we fumble around in the dark, and YouTube says nothing. So I'd actually really appreciate it if you could really quickly click up here if you're on desktop, or go over to your general settings on mobile and see if restricted mode is turned on. Then if it is, or if you missed a video you feel like you should have seen but it isn't, let me know either of those cases in the comments just so we can have a little bit more data to figure this out. Another potential explanation is that there seem to have been some changes recently to suggested videos. That is the big list of videos to the right of this one, or under it if you're on mobile, that YouTube curates for you based on your interests. That feed used to always show at least one other video from the channel you're currently watching, but at some point in the recent past, YouTube seems to have scrapped that, and now it may as well just be TikTok, which I'm sure was the goal. Anything to squeeze an extra percentage point of engagement out of viewers, but it absolutely sucks for any creator trying to build or maintain a dedicated audience instead of just feeding the endless feed. And it really fucking sucks for creators who focus on less frequent, longer form content, since it makes each new upload more of a gamble and cuts into the boost that old videos used to get whenever we'd post new ones. You know who it sucks a whole lot less for? Low effort slop tubers who can flood your feeds with one or more hastily made videos a day about a tweet that made them angry. For those channels, each new upload is much less of an investment and therefore less of a risk, and the sheer speed and volume with which they can pump out content vaguely related to any given trending anime allows them to completely choke out all but the biggest real AniTubers who are actually watching the anime and making content about it from searches and other avenues of discovery. That has been a problem for quite a few years though, for a lot of niches, not just anime. And while this does make it worse, at the very least, it is pretty easy for viewers who don't want to watch that sort of slop to avoid it. Just keep an eye out for thumbnails full of big angry block text and or tweets next to smug anime girls and or rant sonas, and you'll probably never click one by accident. But the rise of generative AI has enabled another, much more insidious genre of slop that's been ripping through specifically specifically the anime side of YouTube, like a cancer: recap videos. Recap videos are pretty self-explanatory. They're videos that recap the plots of anime, usually in a glib, sarcastic sort of way. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I've made a couple such videos myself over the years. It can be quite fun to condense a series you really love into its most essential plot points and a bunch of inside jokes for the fans, and quite cathartic to tear a terrible anime apart scene by scene. But of course, that's not what these channels are doing. Forget anime they love or anime they hate. These guys don't even watch anime. Here's what they actually do. Step 1, rip the subtitles from the anime you're covering. Step 2, feed it into ChatGPT and ask for a funny summary. Maybe then punch that up a little with some lazy jokes about clapping and Riz, although that is very optional. Step 3, feed the summary into a text-to-speech AI. Step 4, throw the audio into Premiere and fill the timeline with vaguely related anime clips. Step 5, skibbity rizzler some child-friendly buzzwords into the title and thumbnail. And Step 6, that's all the steps. Go make another video about an anime you haven't watched. This process can produce 3 to 7 technically scripted, hour-long videos a week. An insane output that no human being or even team of humans could reasonably compete with. And it doesn't really matter that the videos are garbage or the AI pronounces basically every name wrong or that the plot summaries themselves are more often than not objectively incorrect because the AI just hallucinated a plot point that never happened, because the videos are clearly designed for people who haven't seen the anime and never will, and their length is pretty well optimized to clear the algorithm's engagement threshold and get them into recommended feeds, even if people click off 30% of the way through. More importantly, even if most of these videos never hit the algorithmic jackpot, the channels behind them get to take a lot more spins at that wheel than any real content creator, and they only need a few to take off to justify making the rest, if the rest aren't already paying for their editing costs and then some with their own view counts, which they probably are, since at the low end, these channels get like 60 to 70,000 views an upload, and at the high end, we're talking tens of millions. It is obscene the numbers these channels pull with stolen content rewritten by a robot trained on other stolen content.
Now, this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die.
And there are dozens of these channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. If you try to search for anime on YouTube right now, these fucking things are all you'll see. They dominate results for individual titles too, and somehow, despite the fact that anime publishers are more aggressive with copyright claims than they've ever been, to the point that I had to block my own channel in Japan, even though I live there, none of them are getting taken down for it, for this blatant violation of fair use, because they don't put any effort into their videos, so why would they fight a copyright claim on them and risk a strike? Just upload another one. And by the same token, if one of their videos gets randomly locked out of restricted mode, they can just immediately replace it with another one or 20 that took just as much zero work as all the others. Now, I'm sure AniMangaTube isn't the only niche infested with this AI crap. I bet ComicTube, ManhwaTube, BookTube, TVTube, that's a weird thing to say, and any other space with long stories that people might want to have summarized in it has some of these Gen AI grifters lurking in the fringes, and there are probably other AI grifts out there that my media diet of video essays and Lego City time lapses just doesn't expose me to. I'm sure the shorts feed's lousy with it. But AniTube's case of AI cancer is the most advanced that I'm aware of on the entire site, and if this whole view dip situation is, as quite a few folk are suspecting, a result of AI spreading further across the platform, then I dread to imagine what YouTube's gonna look like in 6 months when anything you search returns the same sort of results that anime does now. The imminent AI slop-pocalypse could make the adpocalypse look like a walk in the park, because if it ruins the website for you guys, the viewers, there'll be no one to advertise to. You can help though.
though, just by making some noise at YouTube about wanting to see less slop in your feed, and by spreading awareness of the issue. But there is another way that you can help make YouTube a better place, which is by watching and leaving likes and comments on more high-quality human-made content. And please, not just mine. As badly as all of this is affecting me, I am insulated from the worst of it, thanks to all of you who wake your babes up when the new Mother's Basement video drops, and especially my patrons, without whom I would probably be having a panic attack right now. You guys are the best, and I can't thank you enough. But there are a lot of other people out there making great, passionate videos about anime who don't have you guys in their corner. Coming up on YouTube's always been hard, but under these conditions, it's next to impossible for a smaller anime channel to find an audience, let alone build a dedicated one. Luckily though, I can help you guys find a few of them. You may already know Explanation Point from my past collaborations with him, but if you don't, he makes fantastic zero punctuation style video essays and anime reviews with a snappy, anarchic sense of humor. Speaking of anarchy, my buddy Mike at Bonsai Pop does great anime analysis through a punk rock lens. Curious and LCL is a very new up-and-coming creator with a great sense of humor, a distinct and appealing editing style, and a very strong creative voice. If you're not familiar with Red Bard, who actually edited bits of the last Hottest Trash video, she makes really good mini documentaries about conventions and other bits of anime fandom history. Musings by Danon is a manga review channel run by a deeply passionate husband and wife team who go impressively in-depth on obscure manga that YouTube is never going to recommend to you. And on a similar note, Kaiser Beams drops brilliantly researched videos about the history of cool old anime you've never heard of roughly once a month, which are very bingeable, and I highly recommend them. Mimiori is another relatively new channel with some very fresh, entertaining takes and super impressive thumbnail art that I think she draws herself. And speaking of great anime thumbnails, Lines in Motion might just make the best ones on this whole platform, which is not something that I say lightly. And the videos attached to them are focused and insightful and all around wonderful. Speaking of insight, Pause and Select has been making top-notch anime video essays damn near as long as I have, with a ton of bangers over the years that deserve way more views. My good pal Tristan of Glass Reflections been at it even longer, and I know he isn't strictly speaking a small YouTuber, but he is still putting out great videos every month that don't get nearly as many eyeballs on them as they deserve. And if you want to split hairs, my podcast with him, Quest for the Best, is a small anime channel that I would appreciate you guys watching. Although I don't want to take away from all the other creators who deserve shoutouts. And of course, there are way more underwatched anime and manga channels than I would ever have time to talk about in this video, so please shout out your own favorites in the comments below. I'm Jeff Thu, professional anime talker abouter, and I hope this video was useful and informative for you.